Hey guys, it's the Bat. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. Honestly, with life and everything that comes with it, other things take precedent that have to be done. But this video really is just a quick video for young and old collectors alike. One thing that I have noticed that in watching videos and watching people in comic book shops that are digging for comics is that a lot of them do the same exact thing. I call the same exact mistake when looking through a comic book box. This box here is one of my original collection from when I was collecting back in the day. As you can see, it's all disjointed, and you got some bag and boarded, some just bagged, and in some of the other boxes, you got some raw books that I just haven't had time to get to and straighten out. Um, I'm going to show you one quick tip that will exponentially increase your collecting style, making it easier for you to identify books that a lot of people miss when they go digging through short boxes or long boxes. Uh, if you look at a lot of videos that people are making, when they show where they go out and they go rifling through a collection at a flea market or convention or this, that, and the third, I understand they might have one hand free because they have the other hand on their phone. All right. And that's understandable. But for the most part, when you approach a box like this, and this is just for example, what I always do, and I was guilty of doing the same thing for a long time, is that I immediately go to the front of the box and I immediately take at least a handful and I pull them up and out. I set them to the side for later. Now I can see the comic books. And it takes the stress off of when people pull books up and shove them back down. I've seen this a lot when you have a full box, people rifling through. They pull a comic book up. They do this, wiggle it, they bend it. All of a sudden now you got a spine crease there. It might not be big, but you done put a spine crease on a book that you may not even buy. So now you done damaged the book that somebody else might have wanted. Or even if you're going through your personal collection, you got to create that space. So when you're digging through and you find a book that you like or that may have potential, now you can see clearly what type of book it is. This is a direct edition, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you went through like the old way where people were just rifling through the tops, you can't tell what this book is. All you can tell is the cover, and you go by the memory of the cover. So, okay, man, this book is valuable, blah, blah, blah. Or it might be a key book and this and that, but it might have another hidden secret to it. It could be a newsstand. It could be a direct. If it's a DC Comics, it could be a DC Universe comic book. You don't know. It could be a second printing, because not all second printings have cover variation. Some of them just have a number denotation. Now, here we go. We get, when you go through looking at comics, okay, for example, you can see. Now, with the camera, you can't really, well, you can see down at the bottom, but with your head, if you're digging through the boxes, you can see and look for those key type of comics while you're looking at the full cover. You get to see the full cover. Which ups your game 75%. Because like I said, most people do not, and I watch them. They just go through. If the box is full, Imagine this being a full box. This is how they do. This is how they do. And if it's real tight, I've seen boxes where the books are super tight and they're still doing this mess. They're bending up the books. They're bending up the book. They'll pull this book out. Okay, this book doesn't have a backing board, as you can see. It's just a plain book in a bag. They'll pull a book up like this. It could be a perfectly good copy. They'll pull it up, knowing it's got pressure on it. They bend it this way, they bend it that way. Then they try to shove it back down in there and do like this. All right, that book has now got creases in it. Regardless of how you cut it, you don't put creases in that comic book. You know, but like I said, this is just a simple tip on how to be ahead of the game, to be able to see the whole comic book. And then when you get to a point like this, you take your hand, shove it forward. It keeps giving you room. Now you get to the sticky books. Now I've seen this happen too. Books that stick together like this, it's sticking. You can hear it. People don't care. They'll just go ahead and rip, pull, yank. No, take your hand, slide, and for the most part, try to stay on this corner here where you got the spine so you can pop it loose. Or if you get to that point where you got a whole stack of them that are like that, pull the entire stack out. Pull the entire stack out. Start from the spine. Pull it up that way. Do not pull it up from this side. I mean, you can do that, but I normally start from the spine and pull so I can look at it without damaging the spine of the comic book. Then I put it back. Now here's another trick too. When you got a full box again, and you're pulling out box. Okay, I'll show you when I put these other ones back. Make sure that you push them all back. And before I put the stack that I took out initially, I will go through them and look at them one by one. You know, to see what I got. Okay, so now I break that stack down, take my hand and push this back and hold and put this in. Now because this book does not have a backing board, I will lift this up, put this one in and drop. Then I will drop this one in. The reason I do that is because if you have a book that doesn't have a backing board, or bag, and you have it in there flush while you're trying to put a stack of books in, I've seen where the guys have accidentally crushed this book because this book slides a little bit, and when you're putting this in, it's making this book slide even further. So now this book is like maybe underneath this stack, and you got a bend right here in the book where the book is folded up underneath. Always try to keep that book, if you can, up in the air while you're putting the books back. Same thing with the rest of these. Same thing. Okay, we got stuck comic books. Like I said, peel it from the side, loosen it, pull it up, and let me take this book out because it's out of order. And pick it up, put them in, slide them down, and this goes right down with it. I give it a little shake. I don't bang, bang, bang. I give it a little shake to make them slide down. And for the most part, that's how I go comic book shopping, you know, when I do comic books. Because I try to look at it as, even though I might not want that book, somebody along the way may want that book. So I try to have comic book etiquette, where I try not to damage books I don't want. And I've seen where guys in comic book shops, they will go through a box, and they will, books they don't want, they don't care. They just rifle through them, bend them up, bend them up, bend them up, doing all like this, manhandling books, you know. And Then they find what they want, which is well and good, but you done messed up anything else for everybody else, because now you got everybody else buying these books that are spine ticked up, corner bent up, or whatever. It doesn't have to be that way. All it takes is a little time. And I understand sometimes you're in a hurry, or you got a lot of people looking through boxes, and sometimes you get hemmed up where you're looking through a box and here comes somebody on your right and somebody on your left or whatever, and they're looking through boxes, so you're really pinched up. Now when you get into that situation, like I said, you pull that stack up and you put it at the top, lay it flat at the top of your box. That way it gives you room to go ahead and do what you got to do. Then at the end, grab that, look through them, and put them back. But like I said, doing this way, this one little tip, simple little tip, can open an avenue for you to find books that are rare, that are more collectible, that you would never have looked at if you have kept up with the old way of just looking at, pulling back, looking at the tops, random pulling a book up, shoving it down. If you really want to know what you got, look at the whole entire book. Give yourself leeway to be able to look at the entire book. And give yourself leeway that you can look at the book without damaging the books. Because one thing I noticed about comic book shops is a lot of them, especially in the dollar bins and the 50-cent bins, they don't actually go back and clean up or care about those books as much as they do the books in the on the shelf or in the slabs or whatever, But in those dollar bins, you can find gems that are worth a lot of money. Because if you got, like my comic book shops, my main shop, he buys comic books so much that he's just got them all over the place. They're everywhere. And every so often, he'll just throw a box down in the dollar bin. That they went through it, but they just went through it marginally, flipped through it real quick, and then they put them down in the basement in the dollar bin rack. So your chances are finding a gem, especially a newsstand or a direct edition or DC Universe, a second printing and up, your chances of finding them are great. Because, well, let's get to the newsstand and direct edition. That's another thing that kind of I have a pet peeve about, because I see a lot of people who are selling books online or talking about comic books, and they'll say, oh, it's a newsstand. Listen, the easiest way to differentiate a direct edition and a newsstand: 1984, 85, 86, it doesn't matter if it's newsstand or direct, because that's the actual meeting point, especially 1985, when there was an equilibrium of direct stores and newsstand. Anything after 86, you want it in newsstand. Anything before 84, you want it in direct. So if you can remember, 84 direct, 86 newsstand. If you keep that in your mind, you'll be okay. But I've seen people who put on a 1983 comic book up. Oh, it's a newsstand. That's doesn't make a difference. There were plenty of them. It's a direct edition that you're looking for. If you go and find a book from 1996, oh, it's a direct. No, you're looking for a newsstand at that point. That's basically it that I wanted to share. This one little tip and trick, tools of the trade that I use when I'm digging through boxes. And when I do videos, like I said, I don't like to damage my own book. So that's why my son, he bought me this configuration that has a light and a holder for videos, so I can keep both hands free to do show you my comics, because even though these books like this aren't worth it, this is like $1 book or whatever, but it's still mine, and it's part of my days back when I was collecting books in runs. I don't do that so much anymore, as my collecting habits have basically kind of evolved with the times. And sometimes I don't feel it's for the best, but things have changed so drastically in comic book collecting that it's hard to get a foothold. And if you're easily dissuaded or easily influenced, you'll end up buying books and doing things that you really wasn't intending to do. I kind of feel sorry for collectors of today, because there's so much static in the radio, basically, that it's hard. It's harder to me for a collector today than it was for a collector back in my time when I was a kid. You got so much more static coming in to confuse you or dissuade you or influence you or whatever. My thing is, when you collect what you like. If you like Daredevil and all you collect is Daredevil, that's fine. Don't never let nobody tell you what you collect is wrong. You got a lot of people that will try to tell you your collection ain't worth squat, but it means something to you. That's why you collect. You don't collect for the masses. And when I was doing videos, I slowly but surely saw myself buying books back in the day when I was doing a lot of videos, and just to show for the video. And then after I did the video, I'm looking at the book, I'm like, did I really want this book? So I had to slow my own self down, kind of reevaluate what I wanted to do, what I wanted to collect, and what I wanted to show. And for the most part, stuff that I like a little bit of everything. I collect basically everything. And I like to break my collections down. I don't have a normal run of A to B titles, A to Z titles, I'm sorry. My titles are broken down, like I said, in newsstand. I got a bunch of first editions. I got miscellaneous books that I pick up, and that's a lot. I've noticed I have gained in the last 5 years 20 boxes basically of miscellaneous books. And miscellaneous books are books that I picked up that I have shown on my past YouTube, and books that for the most part, I like them, don't get me wrong, but do I really need them? And I found that going through my collection, I have a lot of doubles, triples, and whatnot, and it's just taking up too much space. I'm glad for my collection. I enjoy my collection, and that's about it. But basically, this video is basically a tip. I have some more tips for you. Maybe I'll make some more videos when I get the time. But I want to thank everybody who's been with me for the long stretch. It's been a journey, and like I said, I'm not here to make money on YouTube. I just do it for the enjoyment. So I try to keep it 100 with y'all guys, and collecting is fun. Comics are fun. In this day and age, they're kind of dready to me. Everything is mucky. Comics are mucky. The derivatives, different versions of the same character or other characters becoming that character. That's all. It's just dribble, 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 dribble. you know, and like I said, I really feel sorry for new collectors because it's not like back in the day when books had more to them, more pizzazz, more excitement to it. It's now a lot of repetition, and there's a lot of repetition of bad ideas and bad quality stuff. But on a good note, it seems like things are kind of changing. So it is what it is. So this is the Bat signing off. Y'all guys be well. And I've been watching and I've been looking at videos and I've been enjoying myself. So y'all guys be good. Eat your vegetables. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.